All right, still broadcasting live from the broadcasting house. Now it's time to look at what's happening in the political field. It's Eye on Politics. My name is Victor Oloo. We want to take a look at some of the stories that shaped the political arena over the weekend and even the past week, and of course look ahead on what you should expect. As I said earlier, the month of February is going to be an interesting one. One, we are going to have defections. We are going to have political parties amendment bill, remember, which was passed last week and was assented to by the president. A lot of things going to be happening in the political scene, as well as the voter registration. But most importantly, what is going to be your stake as a Kenyan? And to help me discuss this is Dr. Richard Bosire, who is a political science lecturer at the University of Nairobi, as well as a political commentator and analyst. Karibu sana to the show, Daktari.
Thank you, Victor.
Karibu sana, as well as a new member who is joining us for this first time, yes. Andrew Mokoro Nyagwansa. Yes. I got it right. Yeah. Who is an aspiring member of parliament, Kajiado North Constituency. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Kajiado inasemaje? Let's start from there.
Kajiado
North
is really ready to go to this exercise for 2022 August.
Yes.
And definitely we are just checking on the ground and we are seeing the sounds that we are getting.
Your biggest challenger, your competitor down there?
Yes. The competitors, I can say, they are basically going to come from Azimio, you know. The competition that we have is between Azimio and the UDA.
Yes.
Whatever, Nyagwansa that we are formed right now. So those are the competitors we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the ground.
All right. We'll get into that briefly. But Daktari, so to speak, a lot happened over the weekend. One Kenya Alliance, so to say, is now split. There is no rocket science to see that. That happened last weekend when Mudavadi and Wetangula made their way out of the outfit. So what we're seeing right now is a more rejuvenated principles. One, the other team is trying to prove a point and the other side is also trying to prove a point. What do you make of that? Because we are seeing a more rejuvenated Musalia Mudavadi.
Thank you, Victor.
Yes.
I think the events that took place actually the other weekend with the so-called earthquake,
yes.
Which you know, some people say they never had it. Oka actually lost one key member, Musalia Mudavadi, as well as actually Wetangula. But Musalia was the key member who was lost, who left. And again, Oka has gained yesterday from the events of yesterday or this weekend.
Actually, the entire weekend, all the way from Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
So Oka has been also rejuvenated and actually receiving leaders like Mother Karua who came in, and they're saying they're preparing to give a country a shock. That's what it
was on the papers.
Yeah, give us a big shock. And actually, it's like Musalia's departure from Oka has also brought energy into Oka itself. I would think that each of the sides is doing better after Musalia left. Musalia feels free, I think, saying what he wants to say, wherever he is, criticizing the government, criticizing the president, whether that is for real, on the basis of principle or for the basis of just politicking. We are yet to see that. But again, I wonder why Musalia was not that vocal when he was in Oka.
Yes, because in the span of 1 week.
And rejuvenate himself in Oka and actually present himself as the alternative, the one to take over Oka's or to be nominated in Oka. He should have done that.
Could it show that there was a lot of disquiet in the Oka outfit?
Oka had the issues, internal issues among themselves. And I think we saw it when Musalia could not attend some of
their meetings, the latest one in Naivasha.
Yes, their meetings. I think it seems like Musalia was the weak link in Oka. Once he has left, we can see Oka really rejuvenated.
Yes.
Definitely one would feel like when a certain person has left, all of a sudden the institution becomes vibrant. Then you can say perhaps he has been the impediment to give Oka the right direction. And I think now Kalonzo Musyoka is poised to popularize the Oka coalition.
Yeah.
And actually, if we go by what happened yesterday, it's going to receive more and more people that cannot fit in either UDA, now called what? Kenya Kwanza
Alliance.
And Azimio.
Yes.
If those who cannot fit there are likely to go to Oka, which is a third way, so to speak, a third way to approach the elections.
Andrew, it's interesting because it seems that the other side of UDA lessened that baggage from One Kenya Alliance.
Yes. Let me first say this. UDA has been having support all around the country, and this time around, with the coming of Musalia Mudavadi, it is even gaining more strength and power to move going forward. What I can say is Oka now, what remains in Oka is a share. I can tell you why Mudavadi was not able to talk or criticize the government. We all know Oka is curtailed by the government, and it is curtailed in a manner that you can even you yourself tell. It is actually the problem that Musalia saw in Oka, that he is not able to speak his mind, is not able to come out clearly and speak his points. That is why he had to leave. And you see, the government also, in other ways, it is controlling. It's controlling Oka in all the activities. That's an activity. That is what we see. From what we see,
I wish Andrew gives evidence.
Yeah. Now, the first evidence can be Gideon Moi. Gideon Moi is somebody who is supporting Raila Odinga.
And that does not mean that the government is supporting the other side.
If he's in Oka, then he's trying to micromanage Oka. And I can tell you, just to watch this space, once the political parties amendment bill starts working from 9th of February, we are going again to see changes. Even Gideon Moi may leave Oka and join the Azimio, because we know Gideon Moi is in Azimio from what we see. But let him prove us wrong. When we go to 9th of February, and he still remains in Oka. So there are very many things which are going to happen this week. This week we are facing, and even the other week.
But are we likely to see even other people moving from UDA?
Yeah, actually, what is happening?
Yes.
We have not seen such a mass exodus from UDA, apart from one Girishi, and actually UDA is receiving more. You can see even the merger with Musalia and Wetangula, it has given them even more mileage. In fact, like yesterday, we were with Musalia at our constituency, and I can tell you Musalia is now more energized and focused and tackling issues that are affecting Kenyans. So that is what we are saying.
Yes, Dr.
That
it's an individual. Musalia is coming out as an individual, and I think it's hypocritical. I think Kenyans should be treated with some respect. Musalia has been in government for so long. He was a vice president. He was deputy prime minister. Musalia was finance minister.
Yes.
There's nothing, even a local government minister. Musalia has been so many of these things.
Actually, he's been in government since
and he's a beneficiary of his father's departure from politics. That's how Musalia came to politics anyway, to parliament. And we know Musalia very well. If you can condemn, if you want to condemn a government, previous or the current, Musalia is part of this process. We have had corruption is major issue. When Musalia talks about corruption, sometimes I wonder, are those issues Musalia is tackling? What is Musalia going to teach us about corruption which he has not taught UDA party leader? Hold on a second. What is it that is going to tell us about corruption, tackling corruption, when the party leader of UDA does not mention corruption in any forum at all? That now Kenya, let me finish my point. No, I don't need assistance. Let me finish my point. My point is, what are the major issues facing our country? We're going into an election, but we want to reduce it into personality cult, personality politics, and mire it completely, and the citizen is lost. Kenyan citizens should say exactly what are their problems. You have talked about poverty here.
Yes.
Poverty is an issue.
The 4 points.
And the poverty that we have is because of mismanagement about public resources, plundering projects, programs, people stealing from public coffers. It is corruption, number one, to deal with corruption in order for people to have even food on the table. And any leader who is coming up, any leader, to protect me, Victor, any leader coming up must actually tell us how to tackle corruption, because that is our cancer in this country.
Exactly.
And when Musalia, when Musalia tells us that corruption in government, and he is defecting to the deputy president, who is still part of this government that is condemning, how do you know, we are losing it. Let us focus on public interest. Let this campaign shift into providing solutions to the problem that face the common man. But by saying bottom up and all these things, corruption is the greatest cancer.
Let me give my response there. I think you have talked something which is very substantive in the Kenyan politics. And I want to tell you the first thing. If we are talking about thieves, if we are talking about those people who have been in government, tell me the three formations, who has never been in government? That's the first thing. Number two, tell me who has never been mentioned in any scandal among those people.
So we shouldn't talk about corruption.
We are talking about corruption.
Can you mention them?
I can't mention them. We all know who these people are. What I'm asking here, what we have is just a narrative that we are talking about. So William Ruto is this and that, this and that. We have not talked about these other guys. We know very well that whoever has been in government, especially the people at the forefront, they have been involved in one scandal or the other. What we are saying is,
so
we are
corruption doesn't matter?
William Ruto.
No, corruption doesn't matter?
No, it matters. We are demonizing William Ruto.
No.
But we have not taken action against him. If there is anybody who has taken against an action against William Ruto, then we should be talking the same language.
So you mean you want to say it's all politics?
As we speak, it is all about politics. It's all about politics. That is why Musalia has decided, no, this story, we have been talking about it for so long,
but it's the
and
same
no action has been taken.
Same Musalia who's been investigating the deputy president against corruption.
Yes, he has been talking about that. That is very clear.
When did that change?
But no action has been taken.
By who? By the deputy president. The deputy president is there.
The deputy president is not the president.
We can't blame the president.
The deputy president is a principal assistant to the president. So we're supposed to take the responsibility. Is the president himself and the institutions that we have in this country. Number one, what we want to talk about, do we have our institutions in Kenya doing their rightful duty?
And when they do that, just a minute,
those who are able to speak about the government.
The government is using all the government agencies, the DCI,
that's what they say.
The KRA to prosecute people who are opposing the other side of the divide. But so how will corruption and all those evils are talking about will be fought if when they're deployed?
I can tell you what is being used currently is to intimidate those who are opposing the government.
No, you can't.
That's not true.
And I can tell you why.
Victor, this is a national television.
If you see, like the other day when Musalia decided to join hands with William Ruto, we started seeing those things coming on. They started talking about, I don't know, Magaburi and all that. These things have been there. What has been done?
Political propaganda, yes, Dr.
We cannot say, I would think, someone is free to say anyway, because we are in a democratic society, that when someone who is involved in corruption is being investigated, is being arrested, then we cry that this because they're on this other formation. It is not right for our country. And we put our country on a mode that will never get us out, even after this election, out of the hole that we have been digging since independence.
That is why we
must, let me say this, we must ensure that we do the right thing.
That's why we say the government should act on issues of corruption on spot, not to wait until when we have serious engagement like the elections we have this year, then start
that one I agree. Let me finish my thought. That one I agree, and that does not then, when it's being done at this moment, that it is witch hunt. You can't call it a witch hunt. If government has done it late, you can't call it a witch hunt. Let us leave. Let us let the institutions do their job.
But let us not prosecute individuals on a public opinion.
Hold on, you had your time, Andrew. All right, carry on, Daktari. Carry on.
Yeah. So the thing is, government must be left to do its job. You know, there is the political part of government and there is the administrative part of government. And the administrative part, let the DCI do his job. Let all the agencies, the IG do his job. Let everyone do their job. The deputy president, for instance, you cannot link him to any job he's doing for the public, particularly as the deputy president currently, and even for the last 5 years. Honestly, it is at the service, and we should recognize that fact and tell anybody who want to become deputy president in the future that you have 5 years to govern the country. We cannot be in politics all through. And I'm not saying that without bias. If he's listening to me, it is not right. You earn a salary as a deputy president and you do nothing in that office. In the future, it has to happen this way, that every institution should be left or should be empowered to be able to deliver. Issue of corruption, we know it. If Musalia's case is still alive elsewhere, Musalia knows. And he also knows, as I defect to this side, the opposite side, not the government. Let us deal with the political part. The opposing side might bring it up. But you don't find it palatable that when issues of corruption are raised, one side of the campaign does not feel comfortable about this. And I'm saying this, we need politicians, including you, Nyagwansa, including you, and you should learn actually to wait. And keep
you are
keep
talking so long, and there are very many things you're saying I'm not able to respond.
The one who is going to control is Victor.
I'll give you time. I'll give you time.
So this issue of corruption seems to be having a problem. You know, he has said this in UDA. This issue of corruption has a problem within UDA fraternity. We need to dissect this issue of corruption in public and admit we must do something about it. We cannot brush it away and say everyone is corrupt.
Now let me just come in, and I think it's very important Kenyans to know that our country, Kenya, we respect institutions that we have in place. And number two, we must make our institutions work as per what is in the Constitution. We cannot allow to prosecute cases or issues on television, on newspapers, or the hearsays. We want to get evidence. If someone is involved in 1 or 2, 3 corrupt dealings, then the action is taken by the DCI or whatever relevant authority is mandated to do that.
But that's what they've been doing all along.
Now, they have been doing that, but at the end of the day, have you ever convicted William Ruto?
Yeah, he returned the Muteshi's land.
No, that one is not an issue of corruption.
Oh, what was it?
That is not an issue of corruption.
Is it stealing?
Let us stick to corruption.
What is it?
That one, it was not an issue of corruption. Now, number two, I want to tell you, we have impunity in this country. Why? If it were that today, you see the cabinet secretaries at William Ruto or Kenya Kwanza's campaign rallies, you will see them being chased around. But yesterday, during the weekend, we were having cabinet secretaries, we were having principal secretaries in Muranga. You saw the event of Azimio, La Umoja in Muranga. How many principal secretaries were there? How many cabinet secretaries were there? So what we are saying is, on one side of Kenya Kwanza, we are seeing the mistake, but we are not seeing the mistake on the other side of Azimio. So if we want to be genuine and fair, let us treat each and everyone fairly.
Gentlemen, this takes me back to my first question. Once there was that split in the One Kenya Alliance, and there was a massive walkout. In fact, they call it an earthquake. During that press conference, during that event, Musalia said that 2 people were casualties of the earthquake. We see a rejuvenated Kalonzo Musyoka, who took 3 days in Ukambani, and yesterday he was in Kirinyaga, where Martha Karua, Honorable, launched a gubernatorial bid. Are we trying to see a case of we can do it without you? We can do it without you? Starting with you, Andrew.
What I can say, I was present during that function for the earthquake. And I can simply say that immediately the UDA, our troops came in to Bomas. That is when Kalonzo Musyoka and Gideon Moi left. simply because they did not want to sit with William Ruto and whatever reasons they had. But the main reason was they never wanted to be seen by the government, that they are sitting together with William Ruto.
Was that the reason?
And number two,
was that the reason?
Number two,
they said that they were not.
Okay, according to them, whatever they are saying, but we are saying what we can be able to analyze from the body language. We don't need to be told everything. Number two, the Kalonzo Musyoka and Gideon Moi, the way they have gone and to continue with their OCA, that is fine. But what do they carry along with them? We have seen them over the weekend. They were rejuvenated, as the way you have said. Rejuvenation is there. Even the other side of Kenya Kwanza, you can see Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula. They are rejuvenated because they have come where their heart is, where they can say, criticize the government with full authority, without control. That is why I say the OCA is a government-controlled formation. And I can tell you, Martha Karua, you say she joined there. We have been seeing Martha Karua with the OCA for so long. So she's not a new entrant to OCA. And I can tell you, even if OCA went all the way to the ballot, they are not going to cause more impact on the ground.
What about the other side of Kenya Kwanza? Kenya
Kwanza, you can see already, I can tell you, like UDA has been having support all over the country. And now, with the coming in of Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula, even if you say that they have come with a few whatever votes, I can tell you, the Western Kenya politics. It's going to shift as time goes by. Let us have the complete formation. Let us have the roles, who is going to be the president, who is going to be deputy, who is going to... Those formations, the way they are going to share the positions, then that is the time now when we are going to say that the Kenya Kwanza and the Azimio and the rest, we are now going to face a real competition. But I can tell you, like the OCA, my observation is they are trying to raise their stake. They are trying to raise their stakes so that now, whenever they are going to negotiate with whatever coalition, they have an upper hand on negotiating. But if they go to elections, still there is no much more impact.
All right. The question again, somebody would want to get a clarification on is, what value does Musalia and Wetangula bring to the UDA table, Daktari? Because does it affect the political vote, the voting pattern in Western Kenya? And immediately that happened, we saw defections from ANC. Raila Odinga welcomed, members of UDA. We have got Nabulindo, who is a new member who was elected on UDA on ANC ticket. We have got several MPs and MCs from Western Kenya.
Maybe before he
no, I should respond.
His time.
It's my time. No, it's my time.
His time.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So,
okay, fine.
All right.
So Musalia Mudavadi went to UDA.
Yes.
Not as a surprise, because it had been rumored earlier that Musalia is running away.
So where there's smoke, there is fire.
Yeah, the way smoke is fire. It was rumored, and he was saying it's going to work with Ruto, and he said no. I'm on my own man. I'm going to run for president. Even today, if he says he's going to run for president, if he doesn't, and I want to say this, if he doesn't, then Western Kenya, you should forget. You should forget. They're backing him because he is the son of Western Kenya, and he has promised to run, to be on the ballot.
Yes.
And the way they're campaigning, it doesn't look like Musalia wants to be on the ballot.
So who is the big river in UDA and who is the small river in that outfit?
Of course, the small river is Mudavadi, who is flowing into the big river, UDA, and most likely is going to be swallowed. Let's look at the defections. There are many defections that have gone. And again, you can see the trend, and this trend is not going to stop. They're moving to the new party, which came out of Ford Kenya.
Yes.
They are coalescing.
DAPK.
DAPK. They are in DAPK, and there is local politics. Actually, that is how politics played in this country, whether it's clan or tribe or whatever it is. Those formations actually start there. Politics being local. So at the local level, people are defecting. Key politicians are defecting to that outfit, DAPK, that party. And what will happen? They have already said they are going to work with Azimio. They're going to work with Azimio. I do not see then how much. Look at Kenneth Marende also. He made a very strong statement, and like he's running for
like a suicide bomber.
Yeah, he's running for governor of Vihiga. I think he has declared Vihiga, or yeah. So you can see Musalia finally is the one. ANC is the one that is going to be a shell sooner or later. And the strength of a party,
yes,
and I want to say that with the fear of contradiction, the strength of the party is based on their aspiration to capture the leadership of a country, and in that way you must field a presidential candidate.
And that goes up to the local level.
Yes, yes. Otherwise,
the grassroots.
Otherwise, you be away from the table. You not be in the leadership of the country. I would think that Musalia could have had good intentions, but I do not think that having been a deputy president, a deputy prime minister, having been a vice president, finance minister, minister for local government, and other positions he has served in government, I don't think that Musalia's decision maybe to play second fiddle, and I don't think he's going to be nominated as a running mate of William Ruto. So he wants just to be, perhaps get a cabinet position. A cabinet position for having been at the top. I think the community will reject. The community will reject. You have not elevated the community to the next level, because we have seen Western say,
promise.
Yeah, Western say, those promises have been there. Musalia has run for president even in the past. Those promises have been there. There are many issues around Musalia's defection that you wonder. That's not make sense. It's not logical, and we have seen clearly. If everybody has not seen it, most people, and as an analyst, I've seen it. As a political scientist, I've seen it. Musalia might not run for presidency if things go the way they're going. And the running mate will be chosen from elsewhere because of the political structure, the ethnic structure of our country, and the way votes are spread across the country. Most likely, William Ruto would get a running mate from Central Kenya. So what does Musalia bring to the table? Then at the end of it, Victor, is then the people from Western who are beholden on Musalia to run for presidency would have been frustrated.
Will feel shortchanged.
Will they still vote in the ODA formation? I think that is the issue. Even if there are strategies, those are the issues they should deal with. And they are going to lose big time to the DAPK.
That does not go well with you.
Yeah, of course. That one doesn't.
It sounds like a threat, but before you answer that question, there is that headache of choosing a running mate, either from Western Kenya, from Central Kenya. Is it really going okay? How are you handling it from the UDA side?
Okay, as of the moment, we have not been able to get to know how this is going to be worked on. But the two principles, as I say, the three principles actually, the deputy president, Musalia Mudavadi, and Wetangula, of course, once they sit and decide this is the way, and the party organs that make major decisions like those ones, they will be able to tell us now, this is where we are going. But I can tell you, the thing that happens in our Kenyan democracy is when a decision is made, you will see such a kind of reaction. You will see those who are running out of the party. You will see those who are coming in. So even as we speak, after Musalia made that decision, there are members of parliament who were hanging, waiting for that decision to be made, and then they ran away. They were still going into bed with Azimio. So what happened? A few members who have left ANC, they had already made up their mind that they are joining the Azimio. If Musalia, they were waiting to see Musalia, if he's going to say he's going to Azimio, then they go together. If he's not,
that's exactly what we also saw after his defection. Several members of parliament were received the following day.
Exactly. It's Musalia who left. It's Musalia who left. Not the members of parliament who left.
No, Musalia was not in Azimio. How will he leave?
He has always been.
How did he leave?
He has always been.
How did he live? In Azimio? He has not been in Azimio.
He's the one who left to UDA.
I mean, so he was an Azimio, not Oka.
Whether he was neutral or not,
that's why we say
he's the one who left.
That is why we say Oka is controlled by government, and we have to accept that. It's controlled by Azimio.
I wanted to respond to that.
Okay.
In fact,
because Oka...
in one second,
allow me to respond, because you said that.
Continue.
I also give you time. What we are saying here is, what has happened? Small parties like DAP that have been formed the other day, they are getting people to join their party. It is their democracy. I can tell you, this time I'm a politician. Somebody will see where is likely to get a ticket. But I can tell you again, with the assentment of the new political parties amendment bill,
yes,
still there is headache, because if that DAP is going to be in Azimio, still there is a number of parties that are going to come together then to produce one candidate. See, that is another question we have here. So even
the same applies to UDA.
The same applies even to UDA, even to Oka, if they are going to the final lap. So what I'm saying is, DAP is a small party which is just gaining some popularity in Western Kenya simply because of the people who are going to join there. And that is good. That's democracy. But I can tell you, from the reaction we saw the other day, members of parliament going to join the other party, do you know how many members the Nyagwansa has received? It has not been publicized.
Tell us how many.
But I can tell you,
give us
not
the numbers.
Specifically the members of parliament. And I can tell you,
give us the numbers.
Most mobilizers actually are those who are aspiring. There are very many. And very soon you are going to see the members that are going to be received by Deputy President, by
Victor, for me, from my training,
yes,
you cannot say many is a number. Many could be 3, many could be 1,000, or a million.
Many is relative.
Yeah, many is relative.
Okay.
What we see going on, and I think it's good that he has talked about nominations.
Yes.
Nominations is the greatest challenge
in this country
to our democracy. Yeah, but I mean, you know, people and politicians, unfortunately, they don't dwell on issues. They don't dwell on public interest. It's selfishness. Like now, I'm telling you, Andrew is trying to prepare ground for him to be nominated, to UDA, to run for UDA in the constituency where he's coming from. I'm not aspiring for anything. I want to say this clearly, that our politicians, honestly, is not about to win elections by hook or crook. It is about playing it democratically, first and foremost, and also serving the national interest, rather than serving yourselves. Because we have seen people moving from Oka to another one, from UDA to Azimio to UDA or whatever, but on the basis of personal and private interests. Where is the public? We should be more committed to ideas and ideologies that one could say, I'm not defecting because I still believe in the ideology of a democratic party like in the US or conservative party in the UK or wherever, and you remain there. But our politicians are prostituting. Today they are here, tomorrow they are there. I'm sure Andrew was perhaps in ODM before. He has now gone to UDA.
Let me answer that one.
You will tell us. So this movement is not based on a public interest or serving the public, getting to a position of leadership to serve the public, but to serve private interests. And we have made politics as an enterprise, as a business. You pour money, you buy voters, at the end of it, you steal to recover your money, to recoup your money.
All right. Dr. just before you answer, let me ask you this one. Now that the political hemorrhage happened, and, you know, members of One Kenya Alliance also split, so what is the fate of One Kenya Alliance? The other principles remaining. We have got Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua Honorable also joined them. We have Gideon Moi and, you know, other members. So what is the fate? Are they going to stand to the ballot? Are they going to stand strong?
I would say, I cannot speak for them, but as an analyst, as an observer of political events, so far I think they are determined to stand to the end.
To be the third force?
Yes. The problem could be also that politics, one day in politics is so long, things might change, they can drop the idea of fielding a candidate, or they can still continue that way. But as things stand, I think they are determined to field a candidate to run for presidency.
Right.
On the Oka side. What I wanted also to dispute, of course I don't speak for Oka, but unfortunately without evidence, we cannot say that the government is controlling Oka. Moi is a legend of the state in that. Honestly, in public television, without evidence, I think would be unfair. Would be unfair to Oka.
Would be fair if only we say what we see.
But the UDA actually is controlled by the deputy president, who is still a sitting deputy president of the country.
We haven't rejected
which is a better evil, which is a greater evil.
Okay. Now, let me just respond. I think there is a point he raised, which is very genuine and honest to the politics of this country. That nominations in this country, they are a great nightmare to every politician who wants to aspire for any positions. It is good he said, I might have, because UDA was formed the other day, so I was somewhere before UDA was formed. And I was in the ODM party, and I can tell you, nominations of ODM, you and I and everybody knows what happens. It is chaotic.
Somebody can say that it is competitive.
It is competitive, but very chaotic. Even those who win that nomination, they are not given the ticket. That is my case.
Chaotic compared to...
Now, what I want to comment,
we agree we are also likely to see what will happen in the UDA.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, we saw what happened in Jubilee. The same accusations happened in Jubilee.
So even in Jubilee,
where the deputy president was a deputy party leader, took over, and they say he took over, and they imposed candidates.
What I'm saying is, the Kenyan democracy, we need to have parties whereby now we start competing about ideas, about what we are going to do for the people of Kenya once elected, not about I belong to this party. Even what we are saying right now, the OKA, is about where do I align. Even decisions being made in the floor of the House. You can see, we have Azimio, we have UDA. That is where. Now we are going to have Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. Those are the maturities now who are going to have a tug of war in the floor of the House.
In the nomination process, which one do you support? Do you support the universal suffrage? Do you support the cherry picking?
Direct nomination.
Direct nomination or consensus?
I always support the universal suffrage. That is the best, that the people on the ground will speak, we want so and so. The direct tickets, I can tell you, is about business. And I can tell you, if I sit today here and they say I am giving him the ticket, I have been having 10 or 20 aspirants still who are also running for the same position. You see, I have not given the people on the ground democracy to choose a leader they want.
The challenge we have, the challenge we have, Victor, and I think he knows, UDA has no registered members you can talk about. ODM has no registered members you can talk about. We remember the saga we had in 2017, where even my name was found in a different party, a party I've never registered.
And maybe you are running for...
and maybe you are running for an office, so which means you go and be cleared by that party which you don't belong to. There is a problem in institutionalizing our political parties in the country.
But why?
One of the issues in the political management, meaning the institutionalization of political parties, is parties actually having formal membership, where I have a membership card of maybe UDA or ODM, and I'm a member and a committed member of that party, so that I can participate in the primaries. The universal suffrage is talking about. Without that, and the new law makes that very clear.
Exactly. That's why the political parties amendment bill also come into play.
It is going to be chaotic.
It makes it very clear that only members, so that those who have money do not buy their crowds and bring them to vote in a nomination process of another party. That is a big challenge. So universal suffrage is the best, but are we prepared for it? The problem, are we prepared for it? Have we submitted? And this 9th of February is coming so soon. I guess if anybody thinks about Kenya, if anybody thinks about Kenya and growing our democracy, that date is going to mess everything in the future. Perhaps the institutions that matter in this respect, the registered political parties and the IBC should think of perhaps extending this date and make sure that the parties comply. We know Kenyans are last-minute people.
They've been given enough time.
They have not been given sufficient time. This thing was...
The law came the other day, last week.
And now implementation, they should give them more time so that they be able to register members and deposit registration documents with the political parties, registered political parties. Otherwise, it will be a sham. Because anyone will come in and vote, and we shall violate the law and the spirit of now having universal suffrage as the basis of determining who becomes a candidate.
Allow me to take a break before you come back. And when you come back, I still want us to talk about that issue of nomination, because the Political Parties Amendment Bill of 2021, part of it says that for you to be nominated, you must be a member of that political party. As it stands, the Deputy President is a member of the Jubilee Party. He's not yet resigned. So once that comes into play, that he's now registered member of UDA, so what happens? Will he resign? We'll answer that when we come back. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more. And welcome back. Sometimes I just wish we gave you a sneak peek of what happens behind the scenes. But anyway, that is a story for another day. Let's continue with the discussion here with Daktari and Andrew. Let me come back to you here. Andrew, you're a member of UDA party.
Yes. And
the Political Parties Amendment Bill 2021 was passed last week, and the President already signed it into law. So, in effect, it's a law. But then now, 9th of August, most people are required by law to comply. We are in a catch-22 situation. The Deputy President is a member of the Jubilee Party, and we have that part of the law says that you must be a member of that political party for you to be exactly. So what will happen to the DP?
I'll first of all say this. The law that is in place now, because it is the law, it requires that you be a member of that party. How many months to elections? 6 months.
Yes.
That is the law. But now when we come to the Deputy President, what does the Constitution say? Also is another thing. So it's upon now the Deputy President, our party leader, I respect so much, to make his decision, because the Constitution protects him. They have to run that term together with the President until the last day. That's what the Constitution says. But then, now, when he's a UDA member, and now this Political Parties Amendment Bill is there, it states that he has to be a member of that party 6 months to elections. So at some point, he'll have to comply. But that's his own decision to make. But I think he's going to make a wise decision.
What happens to other members of the Jubilee Party who are in UDA right now?
You know, we have, look at the members of Parliament. A number of them have gone to other parties, DAP, UDA, all these parties. Most of them have changed, have shifted goals. So what is going to happen again? My question will come now. Again, do we look at the political parties' rules, or do we look at the Constitution? And what does the Constitution say? Which is superior than the other? That is where now we need to shift our focus into and then get the decision. If all these members of Parliament who have shifted to UDA, shifted to DAP, to whatever parties that they have shifted, if all of them, they have to resign, then cease being members of Parliament, it means we dissolve Parliament. Then we start now campaigns.
And I think that is the reason why this law was brought to bring some sanity into the political party.
Yes, but now I can tell you that this law, at some point, yes, it is going to bring some sanity in the political arena, but at the same time, it has come at a time when it is even very chaotic. We have just talked about the nominations here.
Yes.
And the nominations are those people who are members of that party that are going to participate in the nomination process. Now, all parties, even when we check with the Registrar of Political Parties, you find that most parties, they have no numbers. In fact, you register about, because I know even some other parties have registered even quite millions of members, but you find their membership is not reflecting in the political parties, the political party, the Registrar of Political Parties.
Yes.
So what is happening here is going to be chaotic if this law is going to be in place, because it is already in place. If it is not maybe postponed or amended, or I see total chaos during the nomination of these coming elections. I see total chaos. But what I can say is, according to the law that we have in the country,
yes,
right now, it is very clear. You have to be a member of that party 6 months to election. Even us, even if you want to be independent, you have to be also an independent 6 months to the election.
Yes.
Meaning there is no room for independent. But again, what does the Constitution say? The Constitution says that you have that independence of running as an independent candidate. So some of the laws that have been brought in is also to try and punish one side of the political divide. But I can tell you, it is going to, you know, the law is
the
a
law
law.
has been brought to punish one side of the
all
political divide.
sides. So whoever has brought it might be the first one to cry. So let us wait and see.
Okay, all right.
Victor,
yes.
I think my brother needs to have some evidence. You saw how the discussions went in the Senate.
Both houses.
In the Senate.
Right.
Yes.
These political leaders in our country are all the same.
Yeah.
They're all the same. You cannot say it was designed to punish one part of the country. No. The law would be applied on everyone. Just fairly. Excuse me.
It's okay.
The law was to be applied, actually shall be applied across. The legislative political parties have said, has given the program out, and the IBC has given their program out. It does not favor anyone.
Yeah.
The thing is, our politicians are the same. When they see a loophole, they support. Like now, when initially the deputy president was against this law, because he was saying he wants to build one single united UDA Kenyan party without affiliate parties. But we know for sure, in this country, there has been unfairness to small parties. When they get into coalition, they are shortchanged. This law now brings
equality.
Yeah, yes. They are shortchanged.
Equal stake.
Yeah, you can now negotiate and agree within, and whether things will be better or not. But that was, I think, the intention. I see that intentionality, that nobody should be shortchanged. When you're in a coalition, it should be formal and all that. Yeah. But when now they sense, I think UD also says that I must receive people. The deputy president, he saw that for me to have a formidable coalition, forced to go through this election, I must work with other people, with other political parties, ANC now, Ford Kenya and others coming in. So he embraced it. Not that the law was meant to punish. When you take a position and the law has changed, you must play with the law.
Exactly.
So it's dynamic.
Yeah, it's dynamic. But my brother here says it sounds propaganda. But you see, but this is the reality of politics. Parliament, of course, we saw what happened in Parliament. Some people want this, others want this. Yes. It was still the bickering, the struggle, power struggles between the deputy president supporters and the president's supporters and all that. You know, it's messy, and it's unfortunate that politics is trying to create a divide in our country. It's unfortunate. Kenyans should remember, Victor, 2017. 2017, the country was polarized.
2007.
Even 2017.
Yes.
Polarized.
2017.
People were saying now we should have a cessation, that some part of Kenya should be ruled by this, another one should be ruled by this. We shouldn't be played again into that. These politicians, the presidential candidates, should soberly campaign. They should not try to tell us our new.
At least you agree with that one.
Yeah, that one I agree.
He agrees, and he needs to tell his party leader that the anger that comes out, honestly, and I'm saying this not because of any faith I have in any side of this political divide. The anger that comes out, the personalization that is coming out, not from him alone, but even from the other sides, personalizing politics. And making like people now look like this is a devil and this is an angel, this is something else, that will polarize our country. Honestly, it will polarize our country. And the anger also makes me feel like, you people, this is a campaign. It's not must-win thing. This is a competition we are running. If I run faster than you and I win, it's okay, I shall have been given the trophy. If I lose, I shake the hand If I lose, I shake the hand of the winner, and we move Kenya forward. But the spirit I see building as we move closer to elections is dangerous. Second point, the issue of party nominations with this law and the defection of finally the defection of the DP, official defection, because he has now to go to UDA. He has been member of Jubilee. Yes, has been a member of Jubilee, being deputy president. My brother here has talked about the Constitution, but also there is what we call decency and values and principles that are not necessarily written down. If I was in his position, once I go to UDA, I step down as deputy president.
Okay.
Okay.
It's now your turn.
Yeah, it's my turn, actually.
As you answer that,
yes.
We've seen during political rallies in central Kenya, in Thika, in Murang'a, in Kirinyaga, we see different outfits. The Jubilee kept the Jubilee t-shirts, and we see the Azimio tickets, t-shirts and attires.
Yes.
Do you still want to say the Jubilee is that? As you answer your question.
Okay. I just first wanted to answer this. I think he has talked about the anger, the name callings and all that. To be very honest, the deputy president doesn't have that anger that you are talking about.
I wish
but
to play a clip.
What I can tell you is, if you watch those who talk from the Azimio about the deputy president, almost 90% they are accusing him this and that and that. What we want is politics of decency, the way you have said in this country. And number two, also let us accommodate each other's idea. I'm selling my idea. It's like going to the market. I sell my bananas, you sell your potatoes.
Rather than abuses.
Rather than abuses, let us sell our policies. That is what we want. At the end of the day, it's a competition. Whoever becomes the winner takes it and guide us going forward for the next 5 years. That's what we want as the people of Kenya. We don't want to go back to where we were in 2017 or going backwards. We want to go forward. So what I want to say here is, as we play our politics, let us much more play politics of issues. I think at that point, our political dimension will shift
to
the best for this country.
Andrew.
It is so easy, but outside there, it's very difficult. Once someone goes, actually, yesterday I was at a service where a preacher said very well that in this house there are people whose mouths, if their mouths are taken to the market for sale, there are some mouths which cannot be even bought. He said, what you talk from your mouth is poisonous. Then rather keep quiet.
Right.
So what I am saying is, as politicians, let us try to guard our mouth and speak things that can build Kenya, things that can build our ideology, things that can make us move forward, regardless of our political party's affiliation. That is what we want as the people of Kenya. But now when I come back to the Murang'a and all those campaigns we had over the weekend, I can tell you that you can be able to see Raila has been saying he's climbing the mountain. Even over the weekends, he was given some boots. He's trying to climb, and we encourage him to climb the mountain. But then, in the process of climbing, even the vehicles he used from here, Nairobi, to ferry people to Murang'a, they got some mechanical damage somewhere near Keno. So what we are seeing is people are being imported, transported from Nairobi to Murang'a to just bring the crowd. What we want to see is, let him go to Murang'a and face the people of Murang'a. Let us see the crowd there. The same way, we want to say...
Are we saying Deputy President does the same?
He doesn't. Where?
Let me say this. I don't want to say this on national television. I went to Karen. I was driving to
Karen. That's a delegation going to visit him. I can even go with my delegation to Karen.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Talk.
You jumped the gun.
I was driving and I went to the petrol station. The petrol station was full of motorbikes.
Yes.
They could little number over 200.
Yes.
The place full. I had to go to the next one. Then I asked, curiously, I was like, what is going on? Deputy President is coming to Karen Shopping Center. Just as I've fueled my car, I'm leaving, those fellows have arrived.
Yes.
They have filled the roads, they have blocked the roads. They have been fueled 2,000 shillings for fuel, and they are the same people who move from place to place that day, and they paid. These are politicians. I see that. Hold on a second. I see that even at home. I see that even at home.
Yeah,
this is the behavior of politicians. Now, whether the crowd was taken there or not, the thing is, and if they play, and you also play decent politics, as at least for those people also, that they had their own meeting in Moranga. Their leaders were there. They were not ferried from anywhere. The MPs were all there except 2. I watched that thing. I usually watch. Only 2 were not there. Elected officials. Only 2 elected officials were not present. And the other church leaders were there, leaders from the cultural groups and all that. I saw a cross-section of people. So, of course, you are like in a campaign trail. You could say that in a campaign trail, but we're here to analyze what is going on in the political arena. So, if kila mtu wako na watu wake, everyone has his followers, and actually, nobody owns the mountain as a mountain. I say it itself.
Exactly. Go there and make your
make your point. And people will say, but you cannot say nobody should get to the mountain except through me. That's an aberration. It's a wrong thing. The best thing is that every part of this country is free for everyone to campaign and get support, but not to say you cannot go to Central Kenya, you cannot go to Kisumu, you cannot go to Kisii or wherever.
Something that I want to say, that as we do the campaigns in this country, let us allow each and every individual, or every candidate, or every aspirant to sell his or her manifesto to the people. Because what we are seeing, and we have seen these things happen, and I can tell you, like what happened in Kisumu to the deputy president, what happened here in Jacaranda.
Also in Eldoret, Madoadoa issue. Don't just speak.
Statement made, and actually that statement was misquoted, but I don't want to go into it because that is a case that was handled the way it was handled.
No, it is still in court. It's still in court.
Whatever it is in court or anything, I don't want to comment about it. But what I want to say is what we have seen in Jacaranda, what we have seen in Kisumu, the deputy president being stoned, that is a very serious. And you know, that is how chaos starts in the country. But what we want to do is caution our people, our supporters, not to do such a kind of acts to any candidate, regardless of who he is that has come to our place to do the campaign. Let us listen. If we don't want to listen, let us stay at home. No one is forcing you to come and listen to someone who you don't want to agree with.
Something briefly as we come to an end, or the front page of the Standard. Camera, perhaps if you can just get that for Kenyans to see, all right? As we talk about politics, there is that bit of high cost of living. The camera will get it, all right? There you have it. High cost of living torments Kenyans. It's political season there, you have it. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a political season, and according to the newspaper, taxes on basic goods like airtime, cooking gas, fuel, internet have hurt family incomes. Food prices have been rising over the last 10 years. Paying school fees 4 times a year has compounded the cash crunch. And of course, we talk about, you know, the common commodities. We have got bread. Right now, you can have 1,000 shillings, but we all agree, Dr. that it doesn't serve the intended purpose as compared to the 90s. Of course, times have changed, but as we talk about politics, can we also talk about issues to do with the common mwananchi and how to make things better for a person? Starting with you, Dr.
Yes, I think I agree with the newspaper headline. You feel inflation. Inflation, you feel it. Even myself, I feel it. When you find the price of bread. Nobody does not eat bread in his house. Everyone, the poor, everyone eats, unless they have an alternative. They eat bread, and it's a basic commodity. But recently, bread went up, I think, by 10 shillings. About 10 shillings. And people didn't see it. You know, I went to buy bread in my home place, and then I'm told bread that was costing, I think, 42 is now 50. So then I was like, what is happening? But they have agreed, the bread makers. Someone explained to me. They agreed among themselves. We're raising all of us will raise.
There's no price control.
They were raising the price. The only, I think, a control that can be there if government reduced taxes on bread, on these inputs that make bread, flour and all that. issue of airtime, I've heard you say about airtime. Kenyans have become obsessed with technology and with the phone. You see people crossing the road on phone and all that. We have a problem. I think we need to change our behavior, spend less on airtime, because at the end of it, who are we benefiting? It is Safaricom. Then Safaricom declares 40 billion profit at the end.
The telecommunication companies. Right.
Telecommunication companies. And the parliament should do something. If these people want to be legislators, there are things to be controlled, at least negotiated, even if you cannot control. If you're in a free market economy, they cannot be negotiated. Power. Yeah. You know, power, we are paying painfully. And these people are so ruthless. They come and disconnect the power. And this is what makes business. The problem we have in our country is that we do not have poor policies. Policies, even taxation policies, that protect the welfare of the poorest of the poor in our society. It's like we raise prices of everything and we expect everyone to survive equally. I think the issue of inflation is real. Government has to do something. The central bank has to do something. Treasury has to do something. Exactly. This should be the conversation on how to cushion us from now on. So that we are able, of course, government says that we must collect taxes to be able to offer services, so we cannot reduce or we cannot zero rate some taxes on bread and these commodities. But it is necessary that the government
and actually when you look at the two principles, that's Honorable Raila Odinga and the DP, all of them are talking about reviving the economy. All right. So to an extent, all of them agree that the country's economy is not so good, and the common mwananchi is feeling that pinch. That one is a point there, right?
They all agree, but the strategy is different.
Okay, one is talking about the bottom-up economy.
There's one saying he'll give 6,000 to Kenyans who are not working. There's one who is saying bottom-up economy. And you see, this approach is what will give us the result, the end result. The government of Kenya has not been able even to handle the elderly issues, and even the kazi kwa vijana, kazi mtaani has been there. The government has not been able to make it roll out the way they said from last year, December, I think, or through to this. And even today we have seen that they are not able to start that program. So what are we saying then when we say that we are going to give 6,000 to every Kenyan who is not working? How do you know I'm not working? That is another thing. So what I want to say here is, it's unfortunate for Kenyans, and I can say honestly, the high cost of commodities, the basic commodities that we use every day, is skyrocketing. And I can tell you, I'm a politician and I usually go to this Vijiji, and the kind of life I see people living there, someone misses a meal 2 days or 1 day, and there are very many of them. Why? Because of the high cost of living. Even paraffin that we used to buy very few shillings, you can tell me today it is very expensive.
My village, you call it babo. So you go with 1 shilling and get that.
The cost of living is an issue that needs an urgent attention, even by the current government, just to see and subsidize the cost of living, the cost of commodities that we usually take, unga, these just basic commodities, such that every Kenya can have a meal at the end of the day. That is what we want. But we also want to call upon the agencies that are responsible. We have the Kenya Chamber of Commerce, we have Consumer Protection Federation. Those, they need also to come in and check on the standards of these kind of commodities. Even measure, weight and measure. I buy a bread which is written 500 grams. When I go to measure, it is 300 grams or 350. So those things, we need to bring these agencies also to check and make sure that they are according to standard.
You know, I'm reading at a newspaper here, and there's a story that says that China remains boss as Kenya's debt hits a record 8 trillion. External debt is at 4.1 trillion shillings, with domestic debt standing at 3.9 trillion. Perhaps this explains why of every 100 shillings you spend, 70% of it, that's 70 shillings, goes to tax, and only remain with 30% for clearing other domestic, other local expenditures. But then now, how are we going moving forward? even to the next government, because governments must borrow to sustain the operations of a country.
Yes.
So moving forward, Daktari, how can the government, this government whose regime is already almost coming out of office, but then now the next one, so that the cost of living to that common mwananchi and all the politicians, I'm asking this question because politicians are now talking about economic recovery, but how is it going to be actualized so that that common mwananchi can feel some sudden weight has been moved or removed from their pockets?
I would like to say, Victor, that the talk about bottom up and all these things is just a talk. These are maxims to win elections. Nobody comes down to say exactly what is going to happen. We know this, and I think it's knowledge for most people, most Kenyans, that when you borrow domestically, let us not even talk about external borrowing.
Yes.
You actually rob the economy or the private sector the money that they're supposed to put into productive ventures, into business. You increase the borrowing, the cost of borrowing, and people will not borrow now to do business because it's prohibitive. The interest rates are so high. So when government borrows heavily locally, there is a problem. It causes inflation. It causes also economic, downturn.
Yes.
Because most people will not engage in business productively. Cost of business also in this country, as we know it, is so high. So the starting point is government to borrow less from outside and locally. We see loopholes. The loopholes that are there, Victor, mostly are corruption. The money is not used for what it is intended. Then we have again gone back to the 1990s situation where people, government officers are asking for bribes, even to do small thing like mortgaging your house to get a loan and do some business. You must pay as you move along. There are many issues, Victor. What we can do, as I complete
in 30 seconds.
We should create an enabling environment. Let the banks, KPLC, and all these lower interest rates, lower the cost of power, and people will do business and benefit themselves. Let for economic growth to be realized, we empower the farmers, reduce the prices of inputs. I saw in the newspaper, I think it was the Nation newspaper today, where they're talking about the price of fertilizer having skyrocketed, price of maize seed having skyrocketed. How would farmers make anything out of that? We should also actually be able to attack that at the base. Infrastructure development, value addition to farmers, marketing our products, local agricultural products abroad should be the priority of government. But the rest of the things that they speak here will not help. Politicians are telling us bottom up. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything if it's not going to change lives of the people, and there must be tangible issues, including also Azimio. They must tell us exactly what is going to be done to change lives.
Thank you, Daktari. Allow me to give you the last point as we close. Talk to your people of Kajiado North Constituency. Being the first time you appear in the show, I'll give you the benefit of that. You talk to them. I think it would be prudent for you to do that in 20 seconds, if you can, please.
Okay, thank you very much. To the people of Kajiado North Constituency, I think you all know me. I'm Andrew Nyagwansa, of course, the aspiring member of Parliament on a UDA ticket. And I want to tell you that I am up to the task. I understand the situation or the effects that have been caused within the constituency, and I understand what I have to do for the people of Kajiado North.
What's your manifesto?
Manifesto is simply to just do what we call the servant leadership, and also make sure that the standards of living are improved for the people of Kajiado North, among many more that I want to tell you. But what is very important at this moment is what we do as politicians. We have to check and see that at the end of the day, the common mwananchi benefits, and that is what I stand for. My party is UDA, and I will be able to deliver according to the manifesto of the party and my manifesto. The way I'm going
do you have any question for him?
Bottom up.
Any question for him?
Subscribe.
I would wish to ask him if in an election maybe to cancel him a little bit. He has not even become a candidate. is aspiring, then he should embrace all Kajiado residents, whether they are in the ODM, whether they are in whatever formation, to serve them without party discrimination, party lines, without favoring party lines. But when it comes out against, clearly against one side, actually you create your own dynamics, political dynamics.
No, exactly. Once they know I'm in UDA, they know I'm in UDA. But once I become member of parliament, I'll serve all the people. Those who voted me, those who did not vote me, that is what is there. It's now to serve the people. And that's why you should also understand
why you lost last election. So you can do a correction.
I do understand because...
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We've been speaking to Dr. Richard Bosire, who is a University of Nairobi lecturer, political science, who is also a political analyst, and our new member here who is also joining us, aspiring member of parliament, that is the Kajiado North Constituency, Andrew Mokoro Nyagwansa. Thank you so much. That's where we leave it at that point. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
You know, I have a vote.
So